okay, werewolf movies are normally kind of a mixed bag. They range from ones that are actually very good and actually, take time to develop characters as well as give you a very good transformation sequence, like American Werewolf in London, which I read on a comment might be being remade. Why? It still looks good now. And other movies like The Howling, which, bred just a ton of sequels, and they're all actually pretty good. To movies like Wolf, where you have very good acting, and they kind of go, well, let's do it more of like a totemic sort of thing and less of an actual transformation. To ones like Cursed, which have the opportunity to be really great movies, but fail on all accounts. Then you have ones like Skinwalkers. I will never get the fascination of using an elderly woman and a gun. This was all over the trailer. And yes, there is a gun scene where the old lady does use a shotgun against the bad wolves. And of course she does die. This ends up being one of your classic, this child is the savior to all werewolf kind, and there are good werewolves and bad werewolves. I don't mind the distinction between good and bad. However, it's like bad give in to animalistic sex and bloodlust, good chain themselves up on the full moon. And of course, this child is just coming to the age where he might destroy the werewolf curse for the planet. But if he dies before that time, everything will be cool. Wolves will still be werewolves. I find it ironic that they always seem to be hunted on, like the day of a full moon. You'd almost think if you happen to know that this child exists, maybe more than 4 werewolves will be after him. I'm just saying. Maybe 4 would be after him. And maybe you would, I don't know, have more than like 2 or 3 guys protecting him. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, this premise is done to death in movies, where a random child has the ability to alter all time and space, or in this case, essentially end the curse of lycanthropy. Yeah, so the acting is about as good as the storyline is. If I have to talk about an elderly person using a gun and a storyline that's probably about as old as time itself. The werewolves end up finally tracking the kid down, and of course, at the exact stroke of midnight, he is bitten by the rival leader werewolf. And it does mean that his blood is the salvation for some, the destruction of others when it comes to those who have lycanthropy. So of course, as the family now goes on a quest, you'd be like, you a lycan? Yeah. You don't want to be a lycan anymore? Here, drink of this child's blood. Or, being hunted by a werewolf, that's okay. I've got the kid's blood packed into bullets. I prefer the older, werewolf style movies where a werewolf bites somebody, and if the head werewolf is still alive, if that one's killed, it precipitates down. As long as you haven't gone out and killed anybody, if you've gone out and killed anybody, then therefore you have to be killed. It actually works better for the dynamic of, I have all this ability, however, if I do willfully kill somebody, I'm stuck this way. I will become a werewolf, every full moon. As opposed to, it's like, the point comes down to, you have to know you're a werewolf and then hunt down your other werewolf before you've actually killed anybody. Or the people who go, this is actually kind of cool, I like the power. But it's like, this child is the one who will end the curse for all of us. Yes, we must destroy this child, for this child will be the death of all of us. Look at me, I'm totally ripped, and I'm a werewolf. I'm just oozing animalistic charm. Check out my bazillion pack of abs. Skinwalkers, I'll be honest, sucks. I'm ending this with a crappy movie. You know why? Because I can't end it with a great movie. The Howling is a beautiful series. I forget which one it is, but it's vampires versus werewolves, and when werewolves bite the vampires, they don't like explode. The vampires become werewolves. When the werewolves become vampires, the werewolves become vampires. It is, for the time it was shot, it's a beautiful sequence. It's just, I bite you, you're a vampire. A werewolf bites you, you're a werewolf. Well, the werewolf now bites the other werewolf. Now bites the other vampire to make him a werewolf. And it's just, it's an amazingly great sequence. And, you know, there are other movies like Blood and Chocolate, where if you want to look at, you know, the transformation of the wolf in a much more elegant form, there are movies like Skinwalkers, where it just sucks. Just sucks. At least Cursed had good transformations. Sure, the sizes weren't entirely off. It's like, oh look, it's a werebear, it's a werewolf. But at least they knew what they were doing. You know, it may have been a crappy WB or CW style werewolf movie, but at least it worked. Skinwalkers fails on all levels. It's like, we're taking pretty people. Well, let's throw in the werewolf thing too. Alright, can we have like a savior child too? Yeah, I guess we can do that. I want to see an old lady with a gun. Dude, we totally have room in our movie to do that. Awesome. Also, don't forget, March, which is fastly approaching. Pick my poison. That's right, I'm giving a list of movies. The top 2 go on, and I will review them the last 2 weeks of March. Currently, in the month of March, I have The Rockin' Doom. That is the first week. Thank you. I have Ready to Rumble. Again, I like that one, sadly enough, so thank you. Your options for the next 4 movies. Let's do this by memorization. Kane, See No Evil. Roddy Piper in They Live. Please, for the love of all that is holy, pick They Live. The Marine 2. And The Rock in Game Plan. Werewolf-a-thon is done. I'm only going to do 1 marathon a month from here on out. It's just too much to try to do all these crappy movies back to back to back. So Skinwalkers. If you like horror movies, if you like werewolf movies, don't rent this movie. It is not good. Go rent The Howling. Go rent American Werewolf in London. If you're feeling kind of crappy, go rent An American Werewolf in Paris.